Later, a simple recipe for delicious kedgeree. Cooking made easy with Mary Berry at 8:30 here on BBC One.
Welcome to The One Show with Matt Baker.
And Alex Jones. Now, with awards season in full swing, tonight we are excited to be launching our very own awards, recognising and celebrating the wonderful staff who go the extra mile in the NHS.
Yes, we'll have all the details on how you can take part in a moment. But after the uncertainty of travel plans last week, well, we wanted to have a guest tonight who would definitely make it come hell or high water. So we had a chat.
We had a good chat. We think we've nailed it.
You're the wrong family.
She's here, thank goodness.
Please welcome the new Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. It's Alicia Vikander.
I know, the journey to work sometimes can be absolutely treacherous. But we alluded to the awards season, obviously the Oscars last night. Did you watch them?
I normally, when I grew up, I always, with my mum, had this tradition of like setting the alarm clock and go up the middle of the night. But actually, you know, I've been on a tour now promoting our films, so I actually had like one night when I actually slept. I've been so jet lagged, but I woke up in the morning and did like most people.
You've seen the pictures.
Had a look online.
Had a look online.
Well, you couldn't go, of course, because you had a hot date here at the One Show tonight.
Exactly,
so,
that's what I had to tell
that's
them.
the way the cookie crumbles. But you're in the Academy because obviously you won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, so you've seen the films. What would have been your best film?
I was also a very big fan of Shape of Water, but maybe just because I thought the direction was so brilliant. I thought Dunkirk was a
yes, I agree.
film.
And would you have agreed with Gary Oldman as well as Best Actor?
Yes, I think I was very happy to see that he got the award.
Performance as Churchill, really good
Yeah,
as a word.
it was. What about? Well, might as well do Best Actress
then
while we're here.
Yes, Frances, got my vote, but then it was very difficult because I also thought that Saoirse Ronan in one of my absolute favourite films, also the Lady Bird, was absolutely fantastic.
And what about Best Lighting?
We'll move on to lighting, makeup. We'll do them all by the end of the show.
Now, last week, during the extreme weather, we once again saw just how far NHS staff are prepared to go to give patients the care they need, working extra hours and, in many cases, walking to work through the snow and ice. Now, in the year the NHS turns 70, we are giving you the chance to say thank you.
Yes, we know that in local hospitals, surgeries and in every corner of the NHS, there are people who go beyond the call of duty, not only saving lives, but transforming them with their care and compassion. So tonight, on your behalf, we are launching the One Show NHS Patients Awards.
So Angela is going to be explaining how you can take part. But first, she's been to Chester to find out what a difference a thank you can make.
Every 24 hours, more than 1 million of us are seen by some part of the NHS.
From routine checkups to critical surgery, it's a system that we all rely on.
But it's the 1.5 million NHS staff and hundreds of thousands of volunteers who, day after day, provide the vital backbone to the organisation and often leave us with a lasting impression.
That's why we want to give you the opportunity to say thank you.
I'd like to thank Marie O'Brien, who was my midwife throughout my pregnancy with Ruben.
I really like Becky, Nikki and Faye, who are nurses here, because they've looked after me really well and made sure I wasn't in too much pain.
I was completely broken. They put me back together again.
The nurses and the doctors were very nice because they give me toast.
She just came in, didn't say a word, put her arms around me, and I just knew that she totally understood the place I was in.
So what does a thank you mean to the staff here?
Thank yous really help. We have a thank you board, so all the thank you cards get displayed. By seeing what people have written, that helps you to remember that no matter what the 4-hour target is or any of these other processes, these are human beings and we're just another human trying to help them.
You spend a lot of time with the people in this ward, don't you?
Well, some weeks you can be here for 3-4 long days a week, 12-hour shifts. I go home to my little boy and my son. I don't see them as much as I see the patients here. The patients are like family, so we become really close to them.
So when someone says thank you, what does that mean?
Everything. Everything. It makes everything worthwhile.
At the moment in the NHS, time is what is very, very pressured, and I think we never feel that we give enough time to people. So when they thank us for giving them our time, that means an awful lot to me personally.
I think that's what professionals in healthcare live for. It gives them the feeling that they're doing the right thing. It gives them encouragement. So when we are put in difficult circumstances, I think those memories are really very important.
Thank you for helping me through safe delivery. Thank you for all your help and care over the past 11 years. That must be a mature mum there. Thank you for the help bringing my baby into this world.
Times are tough in the NHS at the moment and it's hard work, but when you get this, you think, actually, this is what we're doing it for.
I've always wanted to stop a train. You're kind of one of the unsung heroes, really, in the NHS, aren't you? Because you kind of go about doing stuff that's not being a nurse, not being a doctor. Yeah. Do you think people appreciate what you do?
Certainly, yeah.
Do the children come around and say things, or are they just so ill they're
in
their
their bed?
You get some
comments.
Do you like what, for instance?
The fat controller.
Do they mean that's you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Okay.
We came into the hospital about 2.5 weeks ago. We were feeling very, very poorly. We was hopefully going to go home today, but things took a little turn for the worst. So now we've come back in here to these wonderful staff again that do a marvellous job.
Do you think that we say thank you often enough to our staff at the NHS?
No, I don't think we do, and we should do. There's no words out there, just perfect, wonderful.
One person very keen to say thank you today is Maggie. Her partner Bill spent 7 months as an inpatient here, but there was one day in particular that was very memorable.
Bill suddenly asked me to marry him after 20-odd years of being together. It was after he'd been seriously ill and we still didn't know which way things were going to go. And the ward sister manager, Julie, she arranged everything in a matter of days. We had a room, decorated, wedding cake, food supplied.
How special was that day for you?
Very special.
Although Bill is now being treated at another hospital, Maggie wants to say thank you to Julie in person for going that extra mile for both of them.
Hi Maggie. Hiya Julie.
You all right?
Not so bad. There's not enough words to describe how much I would like to thank you.
Go on, give her a hug.
That's a little thing for you. Julie's had me cry on her shoulder more than once.
I know.
For the staff here, the One Show NHS Patients Awards could really make a difference.
I think it's an acknowledgement of all the hard work that the NHS does, and it's a real boost to our morale, and I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you for everyone who took care of her, of the NHS. Are you trying to say thank you?
Any opportunity to say thank you, and we know that people are emailing in already. Angela will be here very shortly with details of how you can nominate. But I'm here to find out these incredible stories of some other people that no doubt lots want to say thank you to. And we're talking about Lincolnshire. It was incredibly snowy last week, and you three, well, you all went above and beyond. So, Amy, let's just start with you. You saw the snow, you couldn't get your car out. Yep. What happened next?
I think kind of what happened next was a lot of my team had already made it into work. I work within adult inpatients, and I thought, that's it, I need to just put my wellies on, take a walk into work and make sure patients are cared for and, you know, have that teamwork approach.
How far do you live away from work?
It's about 8 miles.
8 miles
about
in
8
the snow
miles.
you walked?
Yeah.
We're looking at the footage here. How long did it take you?
It took me about 3 hours on my first day. To walk into work.
Amy, it's incredible because obviously when you got there was a team there to help you and carry on with the care and what have you. But what happened then? Because you didn't go straight home, did you, after the shift?
No, myself and most of my team actually stayed all night that night. So we did kind of a 24-hour shift and then walked home the next day. So another 8 miles.
It's absolutely remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. It is. And Helen and Zoe, just tell us a bit about your story, because mental health nurses.
It is, yes. We work with young people at Ash Villa, and we took one of our young people needed to go to a funeral quite some distance away, and we took that person, we took that young person.
And this was an important part of
Very
their
important,
treatment, really,
yes,
wasn't it, to go to
absolutely.
this funeral?
Yeah, they really wanted to attend, and we wanted to make that possible, even though it was a bit scary, well, very scary.
How far was the journey? And you were driving?
It should have been, I drove there and back. It should have been a couple of hours. To get there, it was about 3 hours just over, and then to come back, it was about 5 hours. It was very scary.
This is illustrating what it was like. Zoe, I can imagine the family were just absolutely dumbfounded that you were there.
There wasn't enough thanks from the family, like every opportunity they could. But not only was it Helen and I's job, it was a team collaboration. I mean, I sat with the patient all the way through. It was, so my job was to make sure they were calm and safe, make sure Helen was okay. I was constantly calling back at our base to make sure everything, everyone was happy with the conditions. And if at any point it would have been dangerous, we would have turned around, but clinical and non-clinical, as a whole, wards have all been supporting each other. Wards, it's not just the ward you're on and you come in and do your shift. Everything of that has gone out of the window. Everybody has come together and worked together as an amazing team, and I'm proud to be part of Lincolnshire Partnership Foundation Trust.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you to everybody for what you all did last week, but this goes way beyond last week. We're going to pick up with Angela now, because it's time to find out how you can nominate these wonderful, wonderful people for our NHS Patients Awards.
Yeah.